Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Tricia Carr. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a medium, animal communicator, intuitive, and I'm a teacher of nature and spirit. And I'm bringing to you in this video something that I've been sitting on for a while. I will warn you if you continue watching into the next set of video that I'm grieving in the video. I'm moving through some loss. And when I said I've sat on this for a while, I've actually had this video set aside for, I think, almost a year. And in the video, what I'm actually doing, it had taken me a year to do that. Spoiler alert, I'm actually mourning the loss of two of my birds, two parakeets. In it, I have just buried their little bodies after they had both been passed for some time. I had them in the freezer. It's what you do. And so the reason I took that moment was because even though I had actually mourned them, I realized how much I missed their physical form. And so with loss of a loved one, that's what we hurt from so badly, is their physical form. And there's a lot of confusion about it when we experience this separation of their physical form, because it is reminding us of something that just simply isn't true. It's reminding us of the illusion of separation. What's really beautiful about loss of a loved one is that in order to locate them again, we actually have to go into our own hearts. That's where they always were truly. That's where we always truly experienced them, but we have a habit of orienting that love that we have for them to their physical form. And this is actually a really beautiful experience in and of itself, to appreciate and love the physical form. I think that animals, those of us who have animals in their family, experience that a lot, because most of the animals we have as our family, cats and dogs and a lot of birds and fish and some tortoises and turtles, although sulcata tortoises live like 200 years. Anyway, my point is, many of our animal family, they actually have shorter lifespans than we do. And so we fall deeply in love with little gorgeous babies like that. Back there, that's my Con kitty. Knowing that we will part, we will almost certainly outlive them. And it's very painful, and yet we fall in love again, those of us who love animals and have them in our family and are their guardians, and they are our spiritual guardians. We're their physical guardians, and they're our spiritual guardians, is how that relationship always works out. So if you have experienced a loss and this provokes in you remembrance of that, or if you know that this is an inevitability for some in your life, whether they be animal or human, then perhaps this can help you to, in advance, celebrate the fact that you loved them physically as well as spiritually. But again, what's so beautiful about loss and grief is that the truth of who they are is where we go then to find them. And the truth of who they are is love. And we access that in our own heart, in our own soul. That's where they reside, in truth. And that's where you are in your highest truth as well. So be warned and be comforted if you're experiencing this.
I laid my two birdies to rest, which is actually not a phrase that makes sense because they've dismissed their physical form. So it's not about laying them to rest. It's laying myself to rest, I guess, about the fact that their physical form is something that I will no longer experience. I have such a hard time with this. Captain Mexico, one of the birds, he actually passed, I think, a year ago. I'd have to look at a calendar. And Lalo, the other one, he passed 2.5 weeks ago. And so, yes, Captain Mexico has been in my freezer for a year. But he still is so beautiful. And so I buried them just now in my favorite trail, where I buried my shale-bird 10 years ago, actually. Buried her here too. And there are a couple of birds, a couple of parakeets. And I love them, and I loved everything about them, including their physical form, and including their beautiful little bodies. And as I take them out of their little boxes and put them into the holes in the ground that I had dug, and my tears fell on them, and I can still feel that I talk to them, I'm a medium, an animal communicator, all that kind of stuff. I know about the eternal nature, and I'm so grateful to be awakened in this experience, to be able to understand and connect with the eternal part of their consciousnesses, and they feel great. But I loved their physical form. I loved their physical form. And so as my tears were falling on their little bodies, I just wonder why we do this. I have this moment of wondering why we do this experience of materializing and dematerializing, because it can be difficult. It's a fragile balance, being this piece of God, this piece of the One, and then connecting with another piece of the One in a form that will dematerialize. And it made me think, but I've already died several times. I've dematerialized several times. And I'm not even talking about reincarnation. I'm talking about the fact that we replace all of our cells about every 7 to 8 years. And so I'm 44, and I've done that cycle many times. And so my physical form has died many times. But it has been so gradual that I don't have this experience that I'm having with my birds. And then I realize, but then when transition is fast, like when I want something to happen, I would like for it to happen fast. We want fast manifestation. I want a new job now. I want more money now. I want a partner now. And so there's so much blessing and so much grace, mercy in slow transition, slow dematerializing, and even slow materializing, because that's not sustainable. And so then it just makes me realize that it's such a fragile experience to be in, between suffering and bliss, as this piece of God. And that's all I wanted to make note of. I love those birdies so much, and I love their beautiful bodies, and their physical form, and I bless all of the experiences, and I honor all of them, all of the choices, all of the creations, the co-creations. I'm grateful for, and I appreciate the fact that they created themselves into this experience that I could share, that I could recognize the piece of God that they represent as the piece of God that I represent. And I love their bodies, and I say goodbye to them.